Components, Topic 6, the report template component. The objectives for this topic are to understand the report template component and how to use it. The report template component allows you to turn a dashboard into a report template and from it create multiple versions of a report and distribute it to different audiences. Each version can have a different subset of the components in the template. So let's have a look at one. Here we've got the report template added at the top of the page. It's added the same way that you would add any other component by going to the Insert More Content menu and choosing the template macro. It must be added at the top of the page and then it will control all the other components on the page. To select a date, you go to the date field, choose the date you want and click Set Date. The page have now been updated with the end date as selected. Now inside the component we've got the configuration for the different versions. Talking through the options from the top, the first thing we have is a date offset. This allows us to set an offset from midnight as the end point for the report. This might be important if, say, some values don't come in exactly on midnight. Then we have the different versions. The first one here we can see is an internal version, and this one will pull in all the components on the page that are tagged with the internal version. Then we have the title that will be created for this version, and we have the possibility to add a sender name and a message within the email that will go to this distribution list. Now to the distribution list we can add either people or groups. So if you have an internal group existing that should get this report, it's very simple just to add it. Then we have another version which is external. This will pull in all the components on the page that are tagged with external. And then we have the same again, the format for the email. And finally we have a last version, a personal version. So on each component we see that there's tags for internal and external. So this means that this component will appear on both those versions of the report. If we look at this component, we can see this will be on the internal version of the report only. This template has a combination of different components. So here we can see we have a text editor component. Here we have a KPI, we have some trends or charts, some compound components, a table which is also a KPI, and more text editor components. With the content of the report, so I've reviewed the data, I've entered any comments, I can now click Create or Create an Email. This will create a snapshot of this data in a new page, and if I click Create an Email it will also send it to the distribution list that I've configured. So there we are, I've now created the internal, the external and my own personal version of the report. So here's that report, and crucially the data has been copied into the page. So now if I put this component in edit mode, you can see that instead of the link to the data source we've now just got a value and that number's written in. So that is an accurate record of the data that I had when I produced that report. And because we have the edit history of the page, if anyone should go and change it, we will have a record in here of any changes made. So this is a great way of automating the process of regular internal reports.